All right, ladies, I am going to hit live up here, checking the connection with Instagram. Okay, now I'm live here on Instagram. So, hi, for those of you who I have not met, I've got my Facebook people here on in my Facebook group, which is Women at the Well, Christian Health and Wellness Support. And then I have my audience here live on Instagram. So this is the first time I've kind of done a dual video like this. So just bear with me as I'm looking back and forth. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Erin Kay. I'm a licensed master level social worker and a certified Christian health and life coach. And I help driven women find more joy, more energy, and stop the spin cycle of overwhelm through a process of simple scripture-based shifts. We do some really transformative work between my one-on-one work with people or my group coaching, and most recently in the Incredible Well Society Intensive. So let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay, so what this coffee talk is about, and just bear with me as I look back and forth. I've got my Instagram people up here, my Facebook people down here, until I can find a better way to do this. But the goal here is to be providing you all with Monday devotionals based on the scripture that I will be posting in the Facebook group, Women at the Well, Christian Health and Wellness Support. There's going to be a theme for each month. The month of January, the theme is all about being in the refiner's fire and what that means. And there's a scripture that supports each one of those. So the idea is to come live on Mondays to talk a little bit more in depth about it, and then pepper it in throughout the week. And then Friday, give everybody a chance to see if they understood the assignment and see what the Lord brought to them through that scripture. So the first scripture for this month in January is from Proverbs. It is Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. That's it. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. And that's where we're stopping. All right, so there's different approaches to this particular verse. There are some people that believe that this verse is creating a negative connotation, that it's not a good thing, like having a sharp tongue or having sharp eyes or something like that, that can create negativity in another person. But the more accepted interpretation of this scripture is that it is a good thing, like iron sharpens iron, putting things in the refiner's fire. But at the end of the day, whether you ascribe to the positive connotation or the more negative connotation, at the end of the day, the theme is still the same. You are the company you keep. So if you are surrounding yourself with people that are building you up with positive words, positive affirmations, spending time in the word like what we're doing today, that's going to sharpen your iron. That's going to sharpen you and the rough spots in your life to be positive. Versus if you're spending your time with people that have more negative thoughts, maybe have some habits that are not supportive of the lifestyle that the Lord wants us to have, those are going to bring you down and they're going to sharpen your iron in the wrong way. We are the company we keep, right? What this verse is also saying to us is that we should not be doing this life alone, right? We need to be equally yoked with people who are moving along the same path as we are through that narrow gate. So there is mutual benefit. There is mutual benefit to iron sharpening iron. There is a mutual benefit through mentorship and through leading and through a coaching relationship. Okay, so iron sharpens iron. So while you're sharpening one, you're also sharpening the other. And I see this evidenced in my work that I do with women, that the more I work with them to help them get down to the roots of why they continue to be in cycles of overwhelm or why they feel like they can't break away from these generational cycles, the more it sharpens me and cultivates me to be a better coach for them and for other women that are to come. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship if we are moving in iron sharpens iron in the way that I believe that the scriptures are to be intended, that iron sharpens iron, being in those good, solid relationships. Okay. At the end of the day here, words and actions define our relationships. Okay. Words and actions define our relationships and our responses and how we move forward in life. Okay. So it is very important that we are surrounding ourselves with people that are going to help us to create and cultivate positive words that are going to be uplifting and not words that are going to be tearing yourself down or tearing other people down. And we have to be really aware of this, because sometimes, have you ever cut yourself on a knife that you didn't realize how sharp it was, but before you know it, you've got this split on your finger and you're bleeding. You didn't realize how sharp that knife was. We have to be very careful and very aware of people who have maybe perfected their craft at being deceitful and leading other people down a narrow or a road that is not healthy or good. When they do that, we get down the road, we believe them, and we get so off this path. Before we know it, we've been cut by this knife, and we have been sharpened when we didn't even realize it was happening. So it is very important that you are aware of who you are letting in your space, who you are letting to define your character, what you are letting to define your character. You want to pray hedges of protection around yourself and around your family from these super duper sharp knives that we don't even realize how sharp they are until after they've cut. Okay. So at the end of the day, I'm not sure I understand. Sorry. Suri does that sometimes on me. At the end of the day, too, we want to focus on if we are not being sharpened, if we are just living an isolated life and we aren't surrounding ourselves with people who are sharpening us. We're leading a life of isolation. What happens if a knife or a pair of scissors gets used and used and used and never gets sharpened, never gets challenged? It becomes dull and it becomes less useful, and in some instances, even useless. Now, we are never useless because we are created in God's image. We are his image bearers, but we lose our potency to be able to go out and be disciples of all nations. We lose our ability to step fully into our gifting and step fully into our values if we are not being sharpened and challenged. Step into the refiner's fire. That's my challenge for you this week with your character, and examine those people around you and those relationships. Okay. Step into that refiner's fire and let those relationships that are not serving you well fall away, and step fully into those relationships where people are going to sharpen you in a healthy way. There's another scripture in Proverbs earlier in that chapter that I want to share with you. It's from Proverbs 27, verses 5 and 6. Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Faithful are the words of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. So that kind of speaks to what I was saying about a knife that is too sharp and it cuts us. We don't even realize it happens. It is better to have open rebuke than hidden love. So it's better to challenge people. Like if you see your friend going off path, that you're like, hey, I love you. Let's put you back on here, than for them just to continue on feeding you going down a negative path and not saying anything at all. The kisses of the enemies, what it says right here, profuse are the kisses of the enemies, faithful are the wounds of a friend. So yeah, it might hurt sometimes when your friend is sharpening you, or it might hurt when you're sharpening somebody else. It can happen both ways. But at the end of the day, faithful are those wounds because they're coming out of a place of love and support for you. But the enemy is going to be rejoicing when they're wounding you and when they're watching you fall. Okay. So my challenge for you this week, if you accept the assignment, is to see where the Lord is guiding you with this particular voice, that iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. Who is sharpening you? What is sharpening you? What are you choosing to listen to? How are you choosing to spend your time? I thank you so much for being here with me today and being patient with me, as this is the first time I've done this Facebook, Instagram thing. If there's anything that I can do to help support you, please let me know. You can put it in the comments. And I look forward to serving you again this year in this way with Monday coffee talks. Sometimes I'll be probably in my pajamas having coffee with you, and sometimes I'll be dressed and ready to go. It's all about coming as you are. If you are interested in working with me, please send me a message and I can lead you over to if you're not on Facebook, to our free community on Facebook. And I also have other offerings. I have the Women at the Well support, and I also have the Well Society Intensive, which doors are going to be opening up for that really soon. And I also have a one-on-one coaching slot that I would like to extend. So please comment, send me a message, let me know, and I look forward to seeing you guys super soon.